Oh yeah. Really cool. Wow.
Now if you look real hard, you can see people up on top of that thing up there. They climb up there and hang out all the time. There's some people there with red coats on up there.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Wow. There he is, Mr. Lincoln. I wonder what he's thinking about. He sits here and stares all day long at that. Well, I'm here in Capital City, USA, and I'm about to go take a look at the White House, which is where the president lives. It's right over there. Something. Now DC they mean serious business here. They don't fool around. There's not 1 ounce of fool in this whole District of Columbia. And what I mean by that is you'll see signs everywhere that says, report suspicious activity, dial this number, and then there's pretty much a cop every, I don't know, half block or something like that. But they really mean serious business. My Uncle Steve was telling me that there's this one place, Camp David, where apparently the president goes on vacation to get away from it all. And he told me that, oh wow, look at that. Anyways, if you're driving along the road to Camp David, you'll see signs that say things like absolutely no stopping of any sort. And coming from a place like Minnesota, when I see stuff like that, it's like, hey, whatever, you gotta stop, whatever. But no, if you stop, in 10 seconds, a truck full of army men with machine guns will come after you and make you get out of the car and ask you what you're doing and why you're here and why you're stopped, and then tell you to get the hell out of there. So is this place, heck, president is right over there, probably right now, eating ice cream and smoking cigarettes. Or at least I hope he is. But this place means serious business. Everyone here is either from Georgetown University, which hopefully get to see in a little bit, where they're tourists, or there's very important people of some sort. So yeah, a lot of rich people here, a lot of wealth. That's an interesting place. It's fun to see America. So I'm here in New Hampshire now. After my last video in Philadelphia, I ended up going pretty much straight through New York into Rhode Island, then Connecticut. Just pretty much because New York's a massive city, and so is Philadelphia. There's just really nowhere to stay. So I just went through them, which is unfortunate because I wanted to stay in New York for a couple hours at least, and find some nuts. They have good nuts there. But the East Coast is a pretty amazing place. It, like I was saying, it really is a whole different world out here. The architecture is different, the people are different, everything is just different. It's like I'm in a foreign country at some time, especially with the mountains and the cobblestone streets. But I'm here in New Hampshire, and New Hampshire, Maine, Vermont, Maryland, with the exception of D.C., those places, and the East Coast, there's a lot more freedom out here as far as laws go. Well, for example, I was with my Uncle Steve at a gun show with his friend the other day, and his friend was buying a telescoping metal rod thing that you can beat people with, but it also had a flashlight on the end. And Steve asked the guy who was selling it, he said, "So you could probably just say, 'This is a flashlight,' if anyone asked." And the guy said, "Hey, you could say whatever the hell you want, this is America." And Steve said, "Well, yeah, you're right." But it's kind of that mindset that's out here. This place is really the heart and soul of America. And when I say this, I'm not talking about the silly America, because a lot of the times I like to look at and talk about the silly America. We all joke about it. But underneath the silly America is kind of the real America. And what I'm talking about is, of course, the reasons why we as a people got up and said, you know what, British dudes, we're sick of this, you know. And then they proceeded to kick their ass, and here we are. And it's stuff like that a lot of foreigners don't see, because when they look at America, they see McDonald's and people buying 30 hamburgers, literally, and then watching NASCAR and drinking Budweiser and eating all the hamburgers and mullets and stuff like that, which is great, and I like that. But I kind of classify that as silly America. It is America, but it's not really. But no, the East Coast, in a lot of ways, it's still like that here. People, coming into New Hampshire, right on the state billboard that says "Welcome to New Hampshire," it says "Live free or die," and of course, everyone are very familiar with that phrase. But to see it plastered right on the state sign, it's weird. That's cool, and it's really what it's like out here. Live free or die. It's a cool place, and it's really beautiful out here too. So I'm here in Gloucester, Massachusetts, and I just ate a topside combo at this restaurant, which you saw, and I'm learning something here in the East Coast. The more seafood I eat, what I just ate there's about 8 different types of seafood that was fried and prepared for me, and there were some things that I ate that I couldn't even tell you what they looked like when they were alive. I just have no idea. It was all seafood, and for my entire life, I always thought that I hated seafood. I mean, except for shrimp, I just hated it. And what I'm realizing is that I actually don't hate seafood. I actually really like it. I just hate bad seafood, because out here, everything you get is just fresh, and there's really no fishy taste at all. That fishy taste is just bad seafood. Out here, it's just great. Everything tastes as it should be. There was only one thing I couldn't eat from that meal, which was, I'm guessing it was oyster, which is pretty much what it looks like is someone took a hunk of rotten fish and hocked a loogie on it and then fried it. And so when you bite into it, it's like you get a crunch, and then your mouth is filled with salty fish juice, and then you get this chewy, gross thing. I just couldn't eat it. But yeah, Gloucester's a really cool place. The oldest seaport in America, apparently. And it's pretty cool. So I'm here in a New Hampshire rest area, and I've heard so much about the New Hampshire liquor stores and how, they're state-run and they're really cheap alcohol. And I've been keeping my eyes open. I haven't seen a single one. And I got into this rest area, and I said, no way, that's ridiculous. Because New Hampshire has made the ultimate rest area. Because what they've done is, right next to the facilities, the bathrooms and the vending machines open 24 hours, is this enormous liquor store with insanely cheap liquor in it. And you can park here overnight. It's just ridiculous.